2016 US presidential election had many peculiar features, but one of the most startling was the revelation by CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity company, that the Russian-related actors had been hacking the election. But as Dmitri Alperovitch, CEO and founder of CrowdStrike, tells me, that's just a tip of a much bigger iceberg of cyber hacking that's going on that companies need to prepare for.
When you look at the threat landscape, you really have three types of motivations driving the threat actors out there. You have the nation-state actors, you have the cyber criminals that have a financial motive, and you have the activist groups that are trying to promote their particular ideology. When you look at the nation-states, it's really the big four that we care about here in the United States and broadly in the West. It's Russia, it's China, it's Iran, and North Korea. When you look at the international system, North Korea is by far the most reckless actor out there, whether it's their nuclear program or their missile program, and in cyber it's no different. They have launched some of the most destructive attacks we have seen in this domain at South Korea, and then in 2014 against Sony. So I'm very, very concerned that if there's an escalation in the region, that one of the retaliations that the North Koreans will use is cyber, and they're extremely capable at this, having done it for the better part of the last 10 years. We have seen attacks from Iran against the financial sector here in the United States, against some of our physical infrastructure, but where they've really been very, very aggressive is actually in the Middle East itself. We've seen significant destructive wiper attacks in Saudi Arabia, both against private organizations in Saudi Arabia, their critical infrastructure, as well as against Saudi Arabian government networks. So, and as recently as in the last month. So that is of extreme concern that they will continue to escalate their activities and engage in these truly destructive attacks. We have seen a dramatic reduction, over 90% reduction in their activities since the 2015 agreement with the US government on this issue. They continue to hack US government, they continue to hack defense contractors and other dual-use targets that you would expect intelligence agencies to go after. They're not changing their tradecraft really at all when going after these organizations, but in the economic espionage sphere, where they're hacking into a private company and stealing their information and giving it to a private company in China or state-sponsored company, that has been dramatically reduced. Not quite zero, but dramatically reduced. I think this is really a key point. Every organization should do three steps. They should assume that they're already compromised and get a compromise assessment done right away, because as we've seen, and I've said many times over, there are only two types of organizations out there: those that know that they've been hacked and those that don't yet know, but they've all been hacked. Secondly, they need to get full visibility into their systems. They need to understand what's happening on every machine, what's executing there. And three, they need to proactively hunt on that data to try to find the bad actors. You can't just wait for an alert to go off. You need to assume that you're targeted. You need to assume that someone's already inside, and you need to proactively go out and try to find them on your network. Even small organizations can face this threat. If you have something valuable that someone may want, chances are you've already been targeted.